13. Service-specific terms. The terms before and after Section 13 apply generally to all services. This section contains service-specific terms that are in addition to the general terms. These service-specific terms govern if there are any conflicts with the general terms. Xbox. A. Xbox. I. Personal non-commercial use. The Xbox Online Service. Xbox Network. Xbox Game Studios games, including Mojang Games, https://www.xbox.com/Xbox Game Studios. Applications. Subscriptions, e.g. Xbox Game Pass subscription service offerings. Services, e.g. Xbox Cloud Gaming, and content provided by Microsoft, collectively. The Xbox services are only for your personal and non-commercial use. 2. Xbox services. When you sign up to receive Xbox services, information about your gameplay, activities and usage of games and Xbox services will be tracked and shared with applicable third parties, including game developers and publishers. In order for Microsoft to deliver the Xbox services and for the third parties to operate non-Microsoft games and services. Additionally, if Xbox services are accessed via third-party devices or platforms, information about your gameplay, activities and usage of games and Xbox services may be tracked and shared by such third-party devices and platforms, subject to any third-party terms and privacy policies. If you sign into another platform or device with your Microsoft account or link your Microsoft account with such platforms or devices to access a non-Microsoft service, for example, a non-Microsoft game publisher of third-party apps and services, you agree that Microsoft may share limited account and usage-related information, including without limitation gamertag, gamerscore, game history, usage data and friends list, with that party as stated in the Microsoft privacy statement. And, b. If allowed by your Xbox privacy settings, the party may also have access to your content from in-game communications or other applications that you use when you are signed into your account with that party. Also, if allowed by your Xbox privacy settings, Microsoft can publish your name, gamertag, gamerpic, motto, avatar, game clips and games that you've played in communications to people you allow. If you have enabled Xbox-specific family safety settings, those settings apply on Xbox consoles, Xbox Cloud Gaming, and the Xbox app on PC or mobile devices, but may not apply to Xbox Game Studios games or services accessed or played on other devices or platforms. To ensure a safer gaming experience for your family, please check the parental settings on these other devices and platforms. 3. Your content. As part of building the Xbox services community, you grant to Microsoft, its affiliates and sublicensees a free and worldwide right to use, modify, reproduce, distribute, broadcast, share and display your content or your name, gamertag, motto, or avatar that you posted for any Xbox services. 4. Game managers. Some games may use game managers, ambassadors, or hosts. Game managers and hosts are not authorized Microsoft spokespersons. Their views do not necessarily reflect those of Microsoft. V. Kids and Xbox. If you are a minor using the Xbox services, your parent or guardian may have control over many aspects of your account and may receive reports about your use of the Xbox services. These features are exclusive to Xbox services and may not transfer to other devices or platforms. 6. Game currency or virtual goods. The Xbox services may include a virtual game currency, like gold, coins or points, that may be purchased from or on behalf of Microsoft using actual monetary instruments if you have reached the age of majority where you live. The Xbox services may also include virtual digital items or goods that may be purchased from or on behalf of Microsoft using actual monetary instruments or using game currency. Game currency and virtual goods may never be redeemed for actual monetary instruments, goods or other items of monetary value from Microsoft or any other party, other than a limited, personal, revocable, non-transferable, non-sublicensable license to use the game currency and virtual goods in the Xbox services only. You have no right or title in or to any such game currency or virtual goods appearing or originating in the Xbox services, or any other attributes associated with use of the services or stored within the Xbox services. Microsoft may at any time regulate, control, modify and/or eliminate the game currency and/or virtual goods associated with any one or more Xbox games or apps as it sees fit in its sole discretion to the maximum extent permitted by your local laws. 7. Software updates. For any device that can connect to Xbox services, we may automatically check your version of Xbox console software or the Xbox app software and download Xbox console or Xbox app software updates or configuration changes, including those that prevent you from accessing the Xbox services, using unauthorized Xbox games or Xbox apps, or using unauthorized hardware peripheral devices with an Xbox console. 8. Cheating and tampering software. For any device that can connect to Xbox services, we may automatically check your device for unauthorized hardware or software that enables cheating or tampering in violation of the code of conduct or these terms, and download Xbox app software updates or configuration changes, including those that prevent you from accessing the Xbox services, or from using unauthorized hardware or software that enables cheating or tampering. 9. Additional subscription terms and conditions. Xbox services subscriptions are subject to additional terms and conditions set forth in the Xbox subscriptions terms conditions Xbox, https://www.xbox.com/legal/subscription terms. X. Inactive Xbox service subscriptions. Microsoft may turn off your recurring billing and stop recurring charges in select countries if you do not use your Xbox services subscription for a period of time. Microsoft will provide notice to you before turning off recurring billing. For more information, including the applicable period of inactivity, see Subscription Inactivity FAQ Xbox Support, https://support. Xbox. com/engb/help/subscriptions billing/manage subscriptions/Xbox subscription inactivity policy. 11. Additional end-user license agreements and codes of conduct. Some Xbox services may have their own usage terms and codes of conduct. Store. B. Store. Store refers to a service that allows you to browse, download, purchase, and rate and review applications. The term application includes games and other digital content. These terms cover use of certain stores owned or operated by Microsoft or its affiliates, including, but not limited to, the Office Store, Microsoft Store on Windows and Microsoft Store on Xbox. Office Store means a store for Office products and apps for Office, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, Exchange, Access and Project, 2013 versions or later, or any other experience that is branded Office Store. Microsoft Store on Windows means a store owned and operated by Microsoft or its affiliates for Windows devices such as phone, PC and tablet, or any other experience that is branded Microsoft Store and accessible on Windows devices such as phone, PC, or tablet. Microsoft Store on Xbox means a store owned and operated by Microsoft or its affiliates for Xbox consoles, or any other experience that is branded Microsoft Store and made available on an Xbox console. I. License terms. We will identify the publisher of each application available in the relevant store, unless different license terms are provided with the application. The standard application license terms, SALT, at the end of these terms are an agreement between you and the application publisher setting forth the license terms that apply to an application you download through any store owned or operated by Microsoft or its affiliates, excluding the Office Store. For clarity, these terms cover the use of and services provided by Microsoft services. Section 5 of these terms also applies to any third-party apps and services acquired through a store. Applications downloaded through the Office Store are not governed by the SALT and have separate license terms that apply. 2. Updates. Microsoft will automatically check for and download updates to your applications, even if you're not signed into the relevant store. You can change your store or system settings if you prefer not to receive automatic updates to store applications. However, Certain Office Store applications that are entirely or partly hosted online may be updated at any time by the application developer and may not require your permission to update. 3. Ratings and reviews. If you rate or review an application or other digital good in the store, you may receive email from Microsoft containing content from the publisher of the application or digital good. Any such email comes from Microsoft. We do not share your email address with publishers of applications or other digital goods you acquire through the store. 4. Safety warning. To avoid possible injury, discomfort or eye strain, you should take periodic breaks from use of games or other applications, especially if you feel any pain or fatigue resulting from usage. If you experience discomfort, take a break. Discomfort might include feelings of nausea, motion sickness, dizziness, disorientation, headache, fatigue, eye strain, or dry eyes. Using applications can distract you and obstruct your surroundings. Avoid trip hazards, stairs, low ceilings, fragile or valuable items that could be damaged. A very small percentage of people may experience seizures when exposed to certain visual images like flashing lights or patterns that may appear in applications. Even people with no history of seizures may have an undiagnosed condition that can cause these seizures. Symptoms may include lightheadedness, altered vision, twitching, jerking or shaking of limbs, disorientation, confusion, loss of consciousness, or convulsions. Immediately stop using and consult a doctor if you experience any of these symptoms, or consult a doctor before using the applications if you've ever suffered symptoms linked to seizures. Parents should monitor their children's use of applications for signs of symptoms. Microsoft Family Features. C. Microsoft Family Features. Parents and kids can use Microsoft Family Features, including Microsoft Family Safety, to build trust based on a shared understanding of what behaviors, websites, apps, games, physical locations, and spending is right in their family. Parents can create a family by going to https://account, Microsoft.com/family, or by following the instructions on their Windows device or Xbox console, and inviting kids or other parents to join. There are many features available to family members, so please carefully review the information provided when you agree to create or join a family and when you purchase digital goods for family access. By creating or joining a family, you agree to use the family in accordance with its purpose and won't use it in an unauthorized way to unlawfully gain access to another person's information. Microsoft Family features are exclusive to Microsoft services and are not transferable to other platforms. For example, Xbox-specific family safety settings apply on Xbox consoles, Xbox Cloud Gaming, and the Xbox app on PC or mobile devices, but may not extend to Xbox Game Studios games or services accessed or played on other devices or platforms. To ensure a safer gaming experience for your family, please check the parental settings on these devices and platforms. Group Messaging. D. Group Messaging. Various Microsoft services allow you to send messages to others via voice or SMS messages, and/or allow Microsoft and Microsoft-controlled affiliates to send such messages to you and one or more other users on your behalf. When you instruct Microsoft and Microsoft-controlled affiliates to send such messages to you or to others, you represent and warrant to US that you and each person you have instructed US to message consent to receive such messages and any other related administrative text messages from Microsoft and Microsoft-controlled affiliates. Administrative text messages are periodic transactional messages from a particular Microsoft service, including but not limited to a welcome message or instructions on how to stop receiving messages. You or group members no longer wishing to receive such messages can opt out of receiving further messages from Microsoft or Microsoft-controlled affiliates at any time by following the instructions provided. If you no longer wish to receive such messages or participate in the group, you agree that you will opt out through the instructions provided by the applicable program or service. If you have reason to believe that a group member no longer wishes to receive such messages or participate in the group, you agree to remove them from the group. You also represent and warrant to us that you and each person you have instructed us to message understands that each group member is responsible for the costs of any message charges assessed by his or her mobile carrier. including any international message charges that may apply when messages are transmitted from US-based numbers. Skype, Microsoft Teams, and GroupMe, Skype, Microsoft Teams, and GroupMe, Emergency services. There are important differences between traditional mobile or fixed-line telephone services and Skype, Microsoft Teams, and GroupMe. Microsoft has limited obligations under applicable local or national rules, regulations or law to offer access to emergency services, such as 911 or 112 emergency calling, emergency services, through Skype, Microsoft Teams, and GroupMe. Only limited software versions of the Skype to phone feature of Skype may support calls to emergency services in a very limited number of countries, and depending on the platform used. You can find details about availability and how to configure this feature here. https://www.skype.com/go/emergency. If your Skype to phone emergency call is connected, you will need to provide the details of your physical location to enable the emergency services to respond to you. 2. APIs or broadcasting. If you want to use Skype software and products in connection with any broadcast, you must comply with the broadcast TOS at https://www.skype.com/go/legal broadcast. If you want to use any application program interface (API) exposed or made available by Skype, you must comply with the applicable licensing terms, which are available at www.skype.com/go/legal. 3. Fair use policies. Fair usage policies may apply to your use of Skype software and products. Please review these policies, which are designed to protect against fraud and abuse and may place limits on the type, duration or volume of calls or messages that you are able to make. These policies are incorporated in these terms by reference. You can find these policies at https://www.skype.com/go/terms. Fair usage/. 4. Personal/non-commercial use. The use of Skype software and products is for your personal and non-commercial use. You are permitted to use Skype at work for your own business communications. The Skype number/Skype to go. If Microsoft provides you with a Skype number or Skype to go number, you agree that you do not own the number or have a right to retain that number forever. In certain countries, a number may be made available to you by a Microsoft partner rather than Microsoft, and you may need to enter into a separate agreement with such partner. For more details on Skype number, see https://go skype.com/home Skype number. 6. Skype Manager. A Skype Manager admin account is created and managed by you, acting as an individual administrator of a Skype Manager group and not as a business entity. You may link your individual Microsoft account to a Skype Manager group linked account. You may appoint additional administrators to your Skype Manager group subject to their acceptance of these terms. If you allocate Skype numbers to a linked account, you are responsible for compliance with any requirements related to the residency or location of your linked account users. If you choose to unlink a linked account from a Skype Manager group, any allocated subscriptions, Skype credit or Skype numbers will not be retrievable, and your content or material associated with the unlinked account will no longer be accessible by you. You agree to process any personal information of your linked account users in accordance with all applicable data protection laws. Your Skype Manager may be suspended if group members fail to adhere to the code of conduct contained in this MSA. 7. Skype charges. All prices for Skype paid products are inclusive of applicable taxes, unless otherwise stated. The charges payable for calling phones outside of a subscription consist of a connection fee, charged once per call, and a per minute rate as set out on www.skype.com/go/all-rates. Call charges will be deducted from your Skype credit balance. Microsoft may change its calling rates at any time by posting such change at www.skype.com/go/all-rates. The new rate will apply to your next call after publication of the new rates. Please check the latest rates before you make your call. Fractional call minutes and fractional charges will be rounded up to the next whole unit. In some countries, Skype paid products are provided by Microsoft's local partner, and the partner's terms of use will apply to such transactions. Notwithstanding the foregoing, you may be entitled, under applicable law, to a refund, upon request, of any prepaid subscription balance in the event you switch your Skype number to another provider. 8. Skype credit. Microsoft does not guarantee that you will be able to use your Skype credit balance to purchase all Skype paid products, as paid products may change from time to time. If you do not use your Skype credit for a period of 180 days, Microsoft will place your Skype credit on inactive status. You can reactivate the Skype credit by following the reactivation link at https://www.skype.com/go/store. Reactivate credit. If you are located in Japan and you buy Skype credit from the Skype website, the preceding two sentences do not apply to you and your Skype credit shall expire 180 days after the date of purchase. Once your credit expires, you will no longer be able to reactivate it or use it. If your Microsoft account is closed, for any reason, any unused Skype credit associated with your Microsoft account will be lost and cannot be retrieved. Skype credits may not be transferred to others. 9. Skype Dial Pad. You can use the Skype Dial Pad with an active subscription or Skype credits after the retirement of the Skype desktop and mobile applications. The Skype Dial Pad is a Skype product you can access from within Microsoft Teams or on the web. X. International message fees. GroupMe currently uses US-based numbers for each group created. Every text message sent to or received from a GroupMe number will count as an international text message sent to or received from the United States. Depending upon your location, Microsoft Teams may be using a phone number that could count as an international text message. Please check with your provider for the associated international rates. 11. Microsoft Teams SMS. Microsoft Teams may use Australia-based numbers provided by Belgacom International Carrier Services SA, with their primary place of business at Boulevard du Roi Albert II, 27 1030, Bruxelles, Belgium, BCS. For messages sent to recipients with Australian numbers, Microsoft and its subsidiaries are not affiliated to BICS. Bing and MSN. F. Bing and MSN. I. Bing and MSN materials. The articles, text, photos, maps, videos, video players and third-party material available on Bing and MSN, including through Microsoft bots, applications and programs, are for your non-commercial, personal use only. Other uses, including downloading, copying or redistributing these materials, or using these materials or products to build your own products, are permitted only to the extent specifically authorized by Microsoft or rights holders, or allowed by applicable copyright law. Microsoft or other rights holders reserve all rights to the material not expressly granted by Microsoft under the license terms, whether by implication, estoppel, or otherwise. 2. Bing Maps. You may not use bird's eye imagery of the United States, Canada, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia or Japan for governmental use without our separate written approval. 3. Bing Places. When you provide your data or your content to Bing Places, you grant Microsoft a worldwide, royalty-free license to use, reproduce, save, modify, aggregate, promote, transmit, display, and distribute your data and your content, including intellectual property rights in your data and your content, and sublicense any or all of the foregoing rights to third parties. Cortana. G. Cortana. I. Personal non-commercial use. Cortana is Microsoft's personal assistant service. The features, services and content provided by Cortana, collectively, Cortana services, are only for your personal and non-commercial use. 2. Functionality and content. Cortana provides a range of features, some of which are personalized. Cortana services may allow you to access services, information or functionality provided by other Microsoft services or third-party apps and services. The service-specific terms of Section 13 also apply to your use of applicable Microsoft services accessed through Cortana services. Cortana provides information for your planning purposes only, and you should exercise your own independent judgment when reviewing and relying on this information. Microsoft does not guarantee the reliability, availability or timeliness of personalized experiences provided by Cortana. Microsoft is not responsible if a Cortana feature delays or prevents you from receiving, reviewing or sending a communication or notification, or obtaining a service. 3. Third-party apps and services. As part of delivering the Cortana services, Cortana may suggest and help you interact with third-party apps and services, third-party skills or connected services. If you choose, Cortana may exchange information with third-party apps and services, such as your zip code and queries and responses returned by the third-party app and services, to help you obtain requested services. Cortana may enable you to make purchases through third-party apps and services using the account preferences and settings you have established directly with those third-party apps and services. You can disconnect your Cortana service from third-party apps and services at any time. Your use of Cortana services to connect with third-party apps and services is subject to Section 5 of these terms. Publishers of third-party apps and services may change or discontinue the functionality or features of their third-party apps and services or integration with Cortana services. Microsoft is not responsible or liable for manufacturer-provided software or firmware. 4. Cortana-enabled devices. Cortana-enabled devices are products or devices that are enabled to access Cortana services, or products or devices that are compatible with Cortana services. Cortana-enabled devices include third-party devices or products that Microsoft does not own, manufacture, or develop. Microsoft is not responsible or liable for these third-party devices or products. V. Software updates. We may automatically check your version of Cortana services software and download software updates or configuration change or require any manufacturers of Cortana-enabled devices to keep the Cortana services software up to date. Microsoft 365 Apps and Services. H. Microsoft 365 Apps and Services. I. Use terms. Microsoft 365 Family, Microsoft 365 Personal, Microsoft 365 Basic, Sway, OneNote, Com and any other Microsoft 365 app or service or Office-branded service is for your personal, non-commercial use, unless you have commercial use rights under a separate agreement with Microsoft. Use of apps such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneDrive, Access, and Publisher in Microsoft 365 Family, Microsoft 365 Personal, and any other Microsoft 365 app or subscription service is governed by supplemental license terms located at https://aka ms/use terms together with these terms. 2. Additional Outlook terms. Outlook includes use of Bing Maps. Any content provided through Bing Maps, including geocodes, can only be used within the product through which the content is provided. Your use of Bing Maps is governed by the Bing Maps end-user terms of use available at Go. Microsoft.com/ link ID equals 9710837 and the Microsoft privacy statement available at Go. Microsoft.com/fwlink/ link ID equals 2486686. Digital goods. I. Digital goods. Through Microsoft Groove, Microsoft Movies TV, Store, Xbox services and any other related and future services, Microsoft may enable you to obtain, listen to, view, play or read, as the case may be, music, images, video, text, books, games or other material, digital goods, that you may get in digital form. The digital goods are only for your personal, non-commercial entertainment use. You agree not to redistribute, broadcast, publicly perform or publicly display or transfer any copies of the digital goods. Digital goods may be owned by Microsoft or by third parties. In all circumstances, you understand and acknowledge that your rights with respect to digital goods are limited by these terms, copyright law, and the usage rules located at https://go, Microsoft.com/fwlink/p/ link ID equals 723143. You agree that you will not attempt to modify any digital goods obtained through any of the services for any reason whatsoever, including for the purpose of disguising or changing ownership or source of the digital goods. Microsoft or the owners of the digital goods may, from time to time, remove digital goods from the services without notice. Microsoft Storage. J. Microsoft Storage. I. OneDrive Storage Allocation. If you have more content stored in your OneDrive than is provided to you under the terms of your free or paid subscription service for Microsoft storage and you do not respond to notice from Microsoft to fix your account by removing excess content or moving to a new subscription plan with more storage, we reserve the right to close your account and delete or disable access to your content on OneDrive. Read more about Microsoft storage quotas here, https://prod. Support. Services. Microsoft.com/engb/office/ How does Microsoft storage work? 28261B34421C4A479901740F5BD0C426. 2. OneDrive service performance. Depending on factors such as your equipment, internet connection and Microsoft's efforts to maintain the performance and integrity of its service, you may occasionally experience delays in uploading or syncing content on OneDrive. 3. Outlook.com storage allocation. If you exceed your Outlook.com mailbox storage quota or your Microsoft storage quota that is provided to you under a free or paid subscription, you will be unable to send or receive messages until you remove excess content or move to a new subscription with sufficient storage. If you fail to remove excess content or obtain sufficient additional storage after receiving notice from Microsoft, we reserve the right to delete or disable access to your content. Read more about Microsoft storage quotas here, https://prod. Support. Services. Microsoft.com/office/ How does Microsoft storage work? 28261B34421C4A479901740F5BD0C426. Microsoft Cashback. K. Microsoft Cashback. The Microsoft Cashback program, Cashback, allows Microsoft customers to earn cashback awards when shopping with participating retailers using certain Microsoft products and services like Bing.com and Microsoft Edge. By enrolling in cashback or activating a cashback offer, you accept and agree to the cashback terms conditions, https://www.microsoft.com/bing/rebates terms, certain eligibility criteria, restrictions, and other limitations apply to your participation in cashback. For more information, see the Cashback FAQ, https://www.bing.com/rebates/FAQ. Microsoft Rewards. L. Microsoft Rewards. I. General information. Microsoft Rewards, the rewards program, is free to join, and it enables you to earn points for certain activities and for personal use of certain Microsoft products and services. If you have a Microsoft account and are located in a participating region, defined below, you have been automatically enrolled in the rewards program and can begin earning points immediately. You can cancel your participation in the rewards program at any time by following the instructions below. 2. You can redeem your points in a variety of ways, redemption options, including for certain products and services listed on the redemption page at https://aka.ms/redeem rewards. To be eligible to redeem your points for any redemption option, you must first activate your rewards program account, rewards account, on the rewards dashboard at https://rewards. Microsoft.com/ or on certain other Microsoft sites and pages. There is no cost to activate your rewards account. 3. Certain restrictions and limitations apply to earning, redeeming, and other uses of points in the rewards program. For more information, see the rewards section at https://support. Microsoft.com FAQ. 4. Requirements. You need a valid Microsoft account and you must reside in one of the geographic areas listed in the FAQ, regions, to activate your rewards account and to earn, redeem, or otherwise use points. You may open and use only one rewards account, even if you have multiple email addresses. Each household is limited to 6 rewards accounts. The rewards program is solely for your personal and non-commercial use. Use of a virtual private network, VPN, or other technology or service that can be used to mask or obfuscate your geographic location may result in cancellation of your rewards account and forfeiture of your accrued points. 5. Earning points. You may be presented with opportunities to earn points for certain qualifying activities, offers, such as searches, acquisitions, use of certain Microsoft products and services, and other opportunities from Microsoft. You must have an active rewards account to take advantage of such offers. After completing requirements for certain offers, you may be required to claim the points on the rewards dashboard before the points are earned and added to your rewards account. Failure to claim the points within the time specified by Microsoft may result in the points being forfeited. Eligible offers may vary by region and may only be available for a certain time or subject to other limitations. You must comply with all terms and conditions of a particular offer to earn points awarded with that offer. You may be presented with offers directly on the rewards dashboard or when you use certain Microsoft products and services. From time to time, Microsoft may offer or award you additional points in its sole discretion and with or without prior notice, including for what Microsoft determines to be good faith searches and other interactions with Microsoft services. 6. For purposes of the rewards program, search is the act of an individual user manually entering text for the good faith purpose of obtaining Bing search results for such user's own research purposes. A search does not include queries not intended or used for genuine good faith personal research purposes or a query entered by a bot, macro, or other automated or fraudulent means of any kind. For purposes of the rewards program, an acquisition is the process of purchasing goods or downloading and acquiring a license for digital content directly from Microsoft, whether free or paid. Points are not offered for every acquisition from Microsoft, and certain restrictions may apply. 7. Restrictions limitations on points. Points are awarded by Microsoft to individual rewards accounts and cannot be transferred to any other person or entity. Notwithstanding the foregoing, Microsoft may from time to time in its sole discretion permit you, to share your points within your household. Limits may apply, 2, to contribute your points to support a nonprofit organization listed on the redemption page, or 3, depending on your region and subject to other terms and conditions, to redeem all or some of your points for points in certain other rewards or loyalty programs, including programs operated by Microsoft or authorized third parties. Points are and remain at all times the property of Microsoft, and do not constitute your personal property. They have no cash value, and you may not obtain any cash or money in exchange for them. Points are awarded to you on a promotional basis only. You cannot purchase points. Microsoft may limit the quantity of points or rewards that can be earned or redeemed per person, per household, or over a set period, e.g., a day, provided that you are not disadvantaged in breach of good faith. Please refer to the FAQ for currently applicable limitations. Unless an offer or redemption option explicitly states otherwise, points earned in the program are not valid in, and may not be used in combination with, any other program offered by Microsoft or third parties. Unredeemed points associated with your rewards account expire if you do not earn or redeem any points in your rewards account for 12 consecutive months. 8. Redemptions. Redemption options will be made available to you on the redemption page and on certain other Microsoft sites and pages. You must earn and have available in your rewards account all of the points required for a redemption option before you can redeem your points for that redemption option. There may be a limited number of a particular reward available, and those rewards will be delivered on a first-come, first-served basis. You may be required to provide additional information, like your mailing address and a telephone number, other than a VoIP or toll-free number, and you may also be asked to enter a fraud prevention code or sign additional legal documents to redeem points for certain redemption options. Once you redeem your points, you cannot cancel or return the redemption option for a refund of points except in the case of defective products or as required by applicable law. If you select a redemption option that is out of stock or unavailable for other reasons, we may substitute a redemption option of comparable value or refund your points at our sole discretion. 9. Microsoft may update or discontinue offering specific redemption options at any time for any reason. Some redemption options may have age or region eligibility requirements, or other terms or conditions on their redemption or use. Any such requirements or conditions will be included in the relevant redemption offer. You are responsible for all federal, state, and local taxes and any other costs of accepting and using the redemption option. Rewards will be emailed to the email address associated with your Microsoft account, so keep your email address up to date. Rewards that are undeliverable will not be reissued and are therefore forfeited. Rewards may not be resold. You may redeem no more than 550,000 points per calendar year in the rewards program. X. Canceling your rewards account. If you no longer wish to participate in the rewards program, follow the instructions on the opt-out page, https://rewards.microsoft.com/optout, to cancel your rewards account. If you cancel your rewards account, you will immediately forfeit all of your earned points and will lose your ability to earn new points in the future. To begin earning points again, you must open a new rewards account, but Microsoft will not reinstate any previously forfeited points. Your rewards account may be canceled, and your points forfeited, if you do not log into your Microsoft account for 12 consecutive months. 11. Program changes or discontinuation. Microsoft reserves the right to change, modify, discontinue, or cancel the rewards program or any part thereof at any time, in its sole discretion, and without prior notice. However, if the rewards program is canceled or discontinued, we will make reasonable efforts to notify you by email and on the rewards dashboard and to provide you with at least 90 days to redeem your accrued points, unless we determine that such cancellation must take effect immediately for legal or security reasons. 12. Other terms. Microsoft reserves the right to immediately cancel your rewards account, disqualify you from future participation in the rewards program, forfeit all of your earned points, and cancel or suspend any redemption option you have obtained through the rewards program if Microsoft believes you have tampered with, abused, or defrauded any aspect of the rewards program or breached these terms. Microsoft further reserves the right to cancel or suspend any redemption option you have obtained or attempted to obtain through the rewards program if Microsoft determines you are ineligible to receive that redemption option for legal reasons, such as export laws. While Microsoft makes every effort to ensure accuracy, errors occasionally occur. Microsoft therefore reserves the right to correct such errors at any time, even if it affects current offers or your pending, earned, or redeemed points or rewards. In the event of any inconsistency or discrepancy between these rewards program terms or other statements contained in any related materials or advertising, these terms prevail, govern, and control. Azure. Azure. Your use of the Azure service is governed by the terms and conditions of the separate agreement under which you obtain the services, as detailed on the Microsoft Azure legal information page at https://aka/ms/aa7z67v. Microsoft Soundscape. Microsoft Soundscape. You acknowledge that Microsoft Soundscape, 1, is not designed, intended, or made available as a medical device, and 2, is not designed or intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or judgment and should not be used to replace or as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or judgment. Power Platform. Power Platform. Your use of the Power Platform service is governed by the terms and conditions of the separate agreement under which you obtain the services, as detailed on the Power Platform legal information page at Microsoft Power Platform, https://www.microsoft.com/n/powerplatform/business-applications/legal. Dynamics 365. Dynamics 365. Your use of the Dynamics 365 service is governed by the terms and conditions of the separate agreement under which you obtain the services, as detailed on the Dynamics 365 legal information page at Microsoft Dynamics 365, https://www.microsoft.com/n/dynamics365/business-applications/legal. Copilot AI Experiences. Copilot AI Experiences. Your use of Copilot AI Experiences, except Copilot with commercial data protection, is governed by the supplemental terms and conditions under which you obtain those services as detailed at Copilot, Terms of Use, Bing.com, https://www.bing.com/news/termsofuse #content policy, together with these terms. If you are a Microsoft Copilot with commercial data protection user, please visit this page to review the terms of use that apply to you. Together with these terms, https://aka/ms/bce terms of use. AI services. AI services. AI services are services or features thereof that use artificial intelligence, AI, technologies, including any generative AI services. No professional advice. AI services are not designed, intended, or to be used as substitutes for professional advice. 2. Reverse engineering. You may not use the AI services to discover any underlying components of the models, algorithms, and systems. For example, you may not try to determine and remove the weights of models or extract any parts of the AI services from your device. 3. Extracting data. Unless explicitly permitted, you may not use web scraping, web harvesting, or web data extraction methods to extract data from the AI services. 4. Limits on use of data from the AI services. You may not use the AI services, or data from the AI services, to create, train, or improve, directly or indirectly, any AI technology. Use of your content. As part of providing the AI services, Microsoft will process and store your inputs to the service as well as output from the service, for purposes of monitoring for and preventing abusive or harmful uses or outputs of the service. 6. Ownership of content. Microsoft doesn't claim ownership of any content you provide, post, input, or submit to, or receive from the AI services, including feedback and suggestions. You'll need to make your own determination regarding the intellectual property rights you have in output content and its usability, taking into account, among other things, your usage scenarios and the laws of the relevant jurisdiction. You warrant and represent that you own or otherwise control all of the rights to your content as described in these terms, including, without limitation, all the rights necessary for you to provide, post, upload, input, or submit the content. 7. Content credentials. When you use the AI services to generate content, Microsoft may store information about the content and associate this information and the content with content credentials. You may not use the AI services or create content with the purpose of removing, altering, obscuring, or hiding content credentials or other provenance methods, marks, or signals, or otherwise use the AI services to generate content for the purpose of misleading others about whether content was generated by using the AI services. 8. Third-party claims. You are solely responsible for responding to any third-party claims regarding your use of the AI services in compliance with applicable laws, including, but not limited to, copyright infringement or other claims relating to content output during your use of the AI services. 9. Usage restrictions. In addition to complying with the Code of Conduct above, you agree that you will not use the AI services, including those that make decisions, or take actions, autonomously or with varying levels of human intervention. 1. To make decisions or take actions without appropriate human oversight that may have a consequential impact on any person's legal position, financial position, life opportunities, employment opportunities, or human rights, or may result in physical or psychological harm to a person or group of persons. 2. To deceive or intentionally misinform, e.g., false advertising, or deploy subliminal techniques, e.g., visual, auditory, or other signals beyond a normal person's range of perception, with the intent to manipulate or distort the behavior of a person in a way that causes harm. 3. To exploit any of the vulnerabilities of a person due to their age, disability, or a specific socio- or economic situation, with the objective, or the effect, of materially distorting the behavior of that person or a person belonging to that group in a manner that causes or is reasonably likely to cause that person or another person significant harm. 4. For social scoring or predictive profiling that would lead to discriminatory, unfair, biased, detrimental, unfavorable, or harmful treatment of certain persons or groups of persons. 5. For the assessment of criminality risk of natural persons based solely on the profiling of a natural person or on assessing their personality traits and characteristics. This prohibition shall not apply to AI services used to support the human assessment of the involvement of a person in a criminal activity, which is already based on objective and verifiable facts directly linked to a criminal activity. 6. Based on their biometric data, to categorize people or to deduce or infer their race, political opinions, trade union membership, religious or philosophical beliefs, or sex life or sexual orientation, except for any labeling or filtering of lawfully acquired biometric datasets, such as images, based on biometric data or categorizing of biometric data in the area of law enforcement. 7. To create or expand facial recognition databases through the untargeted scraping of facial images from the Internet or CCTV footage. 8. For any real-time facial recognition technology on mobile cameras used by any law enforcement globally to attempt to identify individuals in uncontrolled, in the wild, environments, which includes, without limitation, police officers on patrol using body-worn or dash-mounted cameras using facial recognition technology to attempt to identify individuals present in a database of suspects or prior inmates, or 9. To attempt to infer people's emotional states from their physical, physiological, or behavioral characteristics, e.g., facial expressions, facial movements, or speech patterns, including inferring emotions such as anger, disgust, happiness, sadness, surprise, fear, or other terms commonly used to describe a person's emotional state. Communication services. S. Communication services. Services that enable communication between individuals, including but not limited to Skype, Teams, Outlook, and GroupMe, are governed by supplemental use terms located at https://aka ms/use terms together with these terms. Miscellaneous. 14. Miscellaneous. This section, and sections 1, 9, for amounts incurred before the end of these terms, 10, 11, 12, 15, 17 and those that by their terms apply after these terms end will survive any termination or cancellation of these terms. To the extent permitted by applicable law, we may assign these terms, subcontract our obligations under these terms, or sublicense our rights under these terms, in whole or in part, at any time without notice to you. You may not assign these terms or transfer any rights to use the services. This is the entire agreement between you and Microsoft for your use of the services. It supersedes any prior agreements between you and Microsoft regarding your use of the services. In entering into these terms, you have not relied on any statement, representation, warranty, understanding, undertaking, promise or assurance other than as expressly set out in these terms. All parts of these terms apply to the maximum extent permitted by relevant law. If a court or arbitrator holds that we can't enforce a part of these terms as written, we may replace those terms with similar terms to the extent enforceable under the relevant law, but the rest of these terms won't change. These terms are solely for your and our benefit. These terms are not for the benefit of any other person, except for Microsoft's successors and assigns. Section headings are for reference only and have no legal effect. 15. Claims must be filed within 1 year. Any claim related to these terms or the services must be filed in court, or arbitration if Section 10. D applies, within 1 year of the date you could first file the claim, unless your local law requires a longer time to file claims. If not filed within that time, then it's permanently barred. 16. Export laws. You must comply with all domestic and international export laws and regulations that apply to the software and/or services, which include restrictions on destinations, end users, and end use. For further information on geographic and export restrictions, visit https://www.microsoft.com/exporting. 17. Reservation of rights and feedback. Except as expressly provided under these terms, Microsoft does not grant you a license or any other rights of any type under any patents, know-how, copyrights, trade secrets, trademarks or other intellectual property owned or controlled by Microsoft or any related entity, including but not limited to any name, trade dress, logo or equivalents. If you give to Microsoft any idea, proposal, suggestion or feedback, including without limitation ideas for new products, Technologies, promotions, product names, product feedback and product improvements, feedback, you give to Microsoft, without charge, royalties or other obligation to you, the right to make, have made, create derivative works, use, share and commercialize your feedback in any way and for any purpose. You will not give feedback that is subject to a license that requires Microsoft to license its software, technologies or documentation to any third party because Microsoft includes your feedback in them. Notices. Notices and procedure for making claims of intellectual property infringement. Microsoft respects the intellectual property rights of third parties. If you wish to send a notice of intellectual property infringement, including claims of copyright infringement, please use our procedures for submitting notices of infringement, https://www.microsoft.com/enus/legal/intellectual property/infringement, which procedures form part of these terms. Only inquiries relevant to this procedure will receive a response. Microsoft uses the processes set out in Title 17, United States Code, Section 512, and, where applicable, Chapter 3 of Regulation, EU, 2022/2065, to respond to notices of copyright infringement. In appropriate circumstances, Microsoft may also disable or terminate accounts of users of Microsoft services who may be repeat infringers. Furthermore, in appropriate circumstances, Microsoft may suspend processing notices by individuals or entities that frequently submit unfounded notices. A further explanation of the applicable procedures for a given service, including possible redress for decisions taken by Microsoft as part of these procedures, may be found at Notices of Infringement, https://www.microsoft.com/legal/intellectual property/infringement. Notices and procedures regarding intellectual property concerns in advertising. Please review our intellectual property guidelines, https://go.microsoft.com/fwlink/ link ID equals 243207, regarding intellectual property concerns on our advertising network. Copyright and trademark notices. The services are copyright Microsoft Corporation and/or its suppliers. 1 Microsoft Way, Redmond, Washington, 98052, USA. All rights reserved. The terms incorporate Microsoft trademark brand guidelines, https://www.microsoft.com/enus/legal/intellectual property/trademarks, as amended from time to time. Microsoft and the names, logos, and icons of all Microsoft products, software, and services may be either unregistered or registered trademarks of the Microsoft Group of companies in the United States and/or other jurisdictions. The following is a non-exhaustive list of Microsoft's trademarks at https://cdn-dymedia-1. Microsoft. com/is/content/microsoft/microsoft/documents/presentations/trademarks list FY25Q3, PDF. The names of actual companies and products may be the trademarks of their respective owners. Any rights not expressly granted in these terms are reserved. Certain software used in certain Microsoft website servers is based in part on the work of the independent JPEG Group. Copyright 1991 to 1996 Thomas G. Lane. All rights reserved. GNUplot, software used in certain Microsoft website servers is copyright 1986-1993 Thomas Williams. Colin Kelly. All rights reserved. Medical notice. Microsoft does not provide medical or any other healthcare advice, diagnosis or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition, diet, fitness or wellness program. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of information you accessed on or through the services. Stock quotes and index data, including index values. Financial information provided through the services is for your personal, non-commercial use only. You may not use any of the finance data or marks of any third-party licensor in connection with the issuance, creation, sponsorship, trading, marketing, or promotion of any financial instruments or investment products, for example, indices, derivatives, structured products, investment funds, exchange-traded funds, investment portfolios, etc., where the price, return and/or performance of the instrument or investment product is based on, related to, or intended to track any of the finance data, without a separate written agreement with the third-party licensor. Financial notice. Microsoft isn't a broker/dealer or registered investment advisor under United States federal securities law or securities laws of other jurisdictions and doesn't advise individuals as to the advisability of investing in, purchasing, or selling securities or other financial products or services. Nothing contained in the services is an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any security. Neither Microsoft nor its licensors of stock quotes or index data endorse or recommend any particular financial products or services. Nothing in the services is intended to be professional advice, including without limitation, investment or tax advice. Notice about the H.264/AVC and VC1 video standards. The software may include H.264/AVC and/or VC1 codec technology that is licensed by MPEG-LA, LLC. This technology is a format for data compression of video information. MPEG-LA, LLC, requires this notice. This product is licensed under the H.264/AVC and the VC1 patent portfolio licenses for the personal and non-commercial use of a consumer to a encode video in compliance with the standards, video standards, and/or b. decode H.264/AVC, MPEG for visual, and VC1 video that was encoded by a consumer engaged in a personal and non-commercial activity and/or was obtained from a video provider licensed to provide such video. No license is granted or shall be implied for any other use. Additional information may be obtained from MPEG-LA, LLC. See the MPEG-LA website, https://www.mpegla.com. For clarification purposes only, this notice does not limit or inhibit the use of the software provided under these terms for normal business uses that are personal to that business which do not include I. Redistribution of the software to third parties, or 2. Creation of material with the video standards compliant technologies for distribution to third parties. Notice about the H.265/HEVC video standard. The software may include H.265/HEVC coding technology. Access Advance LLC requires this notice. If included, the H.265/HEVC technology in this software is covered by one or more claims of the HEVC patents listed at patent list. Access Advance, COM. Depending on how you obtained the software, this product may be licensed under the HEVC Advanced Patent Portfolio. If this software is installed on a Microsoft device, additional licensing information can be found at aka ms/HEVC Virtual Patent Marking. Standard Application License Terms. Standard Application License Terms. Microsoft Store, Microsoft Store on Windows, and Microsoft Store on Xbox. These license terms are an agreement between you and the application publisher. Please read them. They apply to the software applications you download from the Microsoft Store, the Microsoft Store on Windows or the Microsoft Store on Xbox, each of which is referred to in these license terms as the Store, including any updates or supplements for the application, unless the application comes with separate terms, in which case those terms apply. By downloading or using the application, or attempting to do any of these, you accept these terms. If you do not accept them, you have no right to and must not download or use the application. The application publisher means the entity licensing the application to you, as identified in the store. If you comply with these license terms, you have the rights below. 1. Installation and use rights. Expiration. You may install and use the application on Windows devices or Xbox consoles as described in Microsoft's usage rules, https://go. Microsoft.com/fwlink/p/. Link ID equals 723143. Microsoft reserves the right to modify Microsoft's usage rules, https://go. Microsoft.com/fwlink/p/. Link ID equals 723143, at any time. 2. Internet-based services. A. Consent for Internet-based or wireless services. If the application connects to computer systems over the Internet, which may include via a wireless network, Using the application operates as your consent to the transmission of standard device information, including but not limited to technical information about your device, system and application software, and peripherals, for internet-based or wireless services. If other terms are presented in connection with your use of services accessed using the application, those terms also apply. B. Misuse of internet-based services. You may not use any internet-based service in any way that could harm it or impair anyone else's use of it or the wireless network. You may not use the service to try to gain unauthorized access to any service, data, account, or network by any means. 3. Scope of license. The application is licensed, not sold. This agreement only gives you some rights to use the application. If Microsoft disables the ability to use the applications on your devices pursuant to your agreement with Microsoft, any associated license rights will terminate. The application publisher reserves all other rights. Unless applicable law gives you more rights despite this limitation, you may use the application only as expressly permitted in this agreement. In doing so, you must comply with any technical limitations in the application that only allow you to use it in certain ways. You may not a. Work around any technical limitations in the application. B. Reverse engineer, decompile, or disassemble the application, except and only to the extent that applicable law expressly permits. Despite this limitation. C. Make more copies of the application than specified in this agreement or allowed by applicable law. Despite this limitation. D. Publish or otherwise make the application available for others to copy. E. Rent, lease, or lend the application. F. Transfer the application or this agreement to any third party. 4. Documentation. If documentation is provided with the application, you may copy and use the documentation for personal reference purposes. 5. Technology and export restrictions. The application may be subject to United States or international technology control or export laws and regulations. You must comply with all domestic and international export laws and regulations that apply to the technology used or supported by the application. These laws include restrictions on destinations, end users, and end use. For information on Microsoft-branded products, go to the Microsoft exporting website, https://go.microsoft.com/fwlink/ link ID equals 8688967. 6. Support services. Contact the application publisher to determine what support services are available. Microsoft, your hardware manufacturer and your wireless carrier, unless one of them is the application publisher, aren't responsible for providing support services for the application. 7. Entire agreement. This agreement, any applicable privacy policy, any additional terms that accompany the application, and the terms for supplements and updates are the entire license agreement between you and application publisher for the application. 8. Applicable law. A. United States and Canada. If you acquired the application in the United States or Canada, the laws of the state or province where you live, or, if a business, where your principal place of business is located, govern the interpretation of this agreement and applies to claims for breach of it, and all other claims, including consumer protection, unfair competition, and tort claims, regardless of conflict of laws principles. B. Outside the United States and Canada, if you acquired the application in any other country, the laws of that country apply. 9. Legal effect. This agreement describes certain legal rights. You may have other rights under the laws of your state or country. This agreement doesn't change your rights under the laws of your state or country if the laws of your state or country don't permit it to do so. 10. Disclaimer of warranty. Subject to applicable law. The application is licensed as is, with all faults and, as available, you bear all risk of using it. The application publisher, on behalf of itself, Microsoft, if Microsoft isn't the application publisher, wireless carriers over whose network the application is provided, and each of our respective affiliates, vendors, agents and suppliers, covered parties, gives no express warranties, guarantees, or conditions in relation to the application. The entire risk as to the quality, safety, comfort, and performance of the application is with you. Should the application prove defective, you assume the entire cost of all necessary servicing or repair. You may have additional consumer rights under your local laws that this agreement can't change, to the extent permitted under your local laws. Covered parties exclude any implied warranties or conditions, including those of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, safety, comfort and non-infringement. 11. Limitation on and exclusion of remedies and damages, to the extent not prohibited by law. If you have any basis for recovering damages, you can recover from the application publisher only direct damages up to the amount you paid for the application or $1,000, whichever is greater, subject to applicable law. You will not, and waive any right to, seek to recover any other damages, including consequential, lost profits, special, indirect or incidental damages from the application publisher. If your local laws impose a warranty, guarantee or condition even though these terms do not, subject to applicable law, its duration is limited to 90 days from when you download the application. This limitation applies to anything related to the application or services made available through the application, and claims for breach of contract, warranty, guarantee, or condition, strict liability, negligence, or other tort, violation of a statute or regulation, unjust enrichment, or under any other theory, all to the extent permitted by applicable law. It also applies even if this remedy doesn't fully compensate you for any losses, or the application publisher knew or should have known about the possibility of the damages. Covered services. The following products, apps and services are covered by the Microsoft Services Agreement, but may not be available in your market. Account, Microsoft, com, apps and services included with Microsoft 365 Basic, apps and services included with Microsoft 365 Consumer subscriptions, apps and services included with Microsoft 365 Family, apps and services included with Microsoft 365 Personal, Bing Apps, Bing Dictionary, Bing Image and News, iOS, Bing Maps, Bing Pages, Bing Rebates, Bing Search APIs/SDKs, Bing Search App, Bing Translator, Bing Webmaster, Bing, Com, Bing Places, Com, Clipchamp, Collections, Cortana Skills by Microsoft, Cortana, Default Homepage and New Tab Page on Microsoft Edge, Dev Center App, Device Health App, Dictate, Education, Minecraft, Net, Face Swap, Feedback Intake Tool for Azure Maps aka Azure Maps Feedback, Forms, Microsoft, Com, Forza Motorsport, Net, Groove Music Pass, Groove, GroupMe, Image Creator from Microsoft Designer, Lineback, Link to Windows, Maps App, Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Microsoft 365 Business Basic, Microsoft 365 Apps, Microsoft 365 App, Microsoft 365 Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot App, and Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat *** until a commercial domain is established for use of these services, at which time separate Microsoft commercial terms will govern instead. Microsoft 365 Consumer, Microsoft 365 Family, Microsoft 365 for the web, Microsoft 365 Optional Connected Experiences, Microsoft 365 Personal, Microsoft Academic, Microsoft Account, Microsoft Add-ins for Skype, Microsoft Bots, Microsoft Collections, Microsoft Copilot, Microsoft Defender for Individuals, Microsoft Educator Community, Microsoft Family, Microsoft Health, Microsoft Launcher, Microsoft Loop, Microsoft Math Solver, Microsoft Movies TV, Microsoft Pay, Microsoft Pix, Microsoft Reading Coach, Microsoft Research Interactive Science, Microsoft Research Open Data, Microsoft Rewards, Microsoft Search in Bing, Microsoft Soundscape, Microsoft Support and Recovery Assistant for Office 365, Microsoft Sway, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Translator, Microsoft Wallpaper, Minecraft Games, Minecraft Realms Plus and Minecraft Realms, Mixer, MSN, formerly known as Microsoft Start, MSN Dial-Up, MSN Explorer, MSN Food Drink, MSN Health Fitness, MSN Money, MSN News, MSN Premium, MSN Sports, MSN Travel, MSN Weather, MSN, Com, Nextlock Screen, Office Store, OneDrive, Com, OneDrive, OneNote, Com, Outlook, Com, Paint 3D, Phone Link, Presentation Translator, Rise for Fun, Seeing AI, Send, Skype in the Classroom, Skype Manager, Skype, Calm, Skype, Smart Search, SMS Organizer App, Snip Insights, Spreadsheet Keyboard, Store, Sway, Calm, the free version of Microsoft 365, To Do, Microsoft, Calm, Translator for Microsoft Edge, Translator Live, Universal Human Relevance System, UHRS, UR Weather, UX, Microsoft, Calm, Video Breakdown, Visio Online, Web Translator, Whiteboard, Office, Calm, Windows Games, Apps and Websites published by Microsoft, Windows Live Mail, Windows Live Writer, Windows Movie Maker, Windows Photo Gallery, Windows Store, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Game Studios Games, Apps and Websites, Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Live, Xbox Music, Xbox Store,